Osio with Nigod, Wade Blevins, Dawaton, Delegate Uno, Le Dawaton, Galiele Jigeto Kohik. Welcome. This is Cherokee 4 here at RSU TV. My name is Wade Blevins, and I'll be helping you through your lessons. It's hard to believe that we've gone all the way through 4 seasons or 4 classes of this. Cherokee 4 is going to be a little bit different in that we're going to look a little bit more at what you might call grammar, although I don't like that word because grammar tends to be a little intimidating to people. But we're going to dive more into the hows and whys and, those kinds of things. So the first part of this series, we're going to talk about those verbs that are what we call classifying verbs, which I don't think we really have in English, but we have them in Cherokee. There are certain verbs, and they're very, very common. And they're verbs that, depending on what it is you're talking about, the verb will change. For example, if it's something alive, if it's something long and rigid, if it's something flexible, if it's something liquid, they all take a different verb. And so we're going to look at that and look at how to tackle it. I know, at least for myself, I have avoided learning these like the plague and tried to learn other words, and work my way around having to learn these words. But together, you and I are going to tackle them together. And we know some of them already. For example, I believe in Cherokee 1, we learned the verb to have something alive, agika, right? And we talked about that, how in some communities, you can use that to be like to own a domestic animal, like a cat or a dog or something like that. And in some communities, you can use it to talk about having kids. I have 3 kids, Jonani Daki, So these are all, so we know some of them, so it's not completely brand new to us, but we're going to learn all of them. So, but don't be intimidated. Don't freak out. We'll try to figure out some tips and tricks and ways to help us learn these. So, Kohik, Jo'in he Chalakia de lo Kwasti. Today is the 3rd Cherokee lesson. So come, Idalena Chalagi di Woni. Before we get started, I do want to apologize. Through this course, my hair is probably going to get crazy, but that's because I promised my daughter that I would let my hair grow. I used to have long hair, then I cut it, and she wants me to grow it. And so through the filming of this series, you'll probably see it get woollier and woollier, and just forgive it, please. All right, so we the song that we learned before was a Mandarin kids song called Baluabo, right? Pull the carrot, right? And for us, it was pull the turnip, right? Dok sani hin san nagi, right? Pull the carrot. Well, I came up with this one to try to help us learn our verbs to have, right? So I'll give you just a couple seconds to read through there and see if you can read it. And then I'll read through it with you and we'll try to sing it. I'll be honest, it's not, the coolest song I've ever done, but if it gets the job done, then that's what's important, right? So I'll give you just a few seconds to see if you can read through it and know what's going on. Of course, the picture will help you, right? So let's go ahead and we will read. I've got this cool little pointer here. So this says dog-ga-si, but we know that we're talking about this little guy right here, so we pronounce it doc-si. Right? Agi-kan. Doxy. Agi-kan. I have a terrapin. Okay? And then here we have kana sula idina gala. Okay, kana sula idina gala. So that means kana sula is a room. Kana sula is a room. Idina gala. That's let's us clean it, right? Idina gala. Let's clean it. So let's clean up the room. Okay? So, and then this actually starts the song. So after I sing it through once, then I'll talk to you about different ways that you can do this. If you're using it for yourself or if you're using it to teach others. I encourage you, as you learn, teach somebody else. For one thing, that helps you learn more. And for another, you'll have somebody to practice with. And so this says, Daksi agi ka dousti ja ka. Dousti is a shortened way of gadousti or doust, right? What? Ja ka. What do you have? So daksi agi ka dousti ja ka. So I have a terrapin or a turtle. What do you have? Meaning specifically something alive. And then it says, Kanasula idina galai. Okay? Okay, so I apologize. I'm trying to fit it into the words of the song. So this is a children's song. So to sing it, we would say, Daksi agi kada usti jakam. Daksi agi kada usti jakam. Daksi agi kada usti jakam. Kana sula idina gala. Okay? I think maybe it would be better if we sang Kanusul idina galai. I think that would work better because it sounds more like how you would say the words, right? Kanusul idina galai. Okay? Kanusul idina galai. That works better. All right? So, the way that when I found this song, of course they would talk. If you are teaching others, I think it's a great strategy to kind of talk in front of it and then sing. So, like if I were doing this one here, I'd say, Doxi agika kanusula idinagala. Okay? And then didinogi. Doxi agi kada ustijaka. Daksi agi kada usti jaka. Daksi agi kada usti jaka. Kana sul idina galai. Okay, that works. That sounds pretty good. Okay, of course, agi ka and jaka is I have and you have something that's alive, right? In this case, we have a terrapin or a turtle. Okay, now we have something different. We have unud, hi'a, unudi, kanusula idina gala. Okay? This is milk. Kanusula idina gala. Okay, let's clean our room. So if I were teaching somebody else, I would do it this way, especially if I've got, like little kids. I would speak to them and then I'd say, Didi nogi. And then, Unadi agine do ustijane. Unadi agine do ustijane. Unadi agine do ustijane. Kana sul idina galai. Okay? Unadi agine do ustijane. Okay? Unadi agine. So we don't have agi ka anymore, right? And we know that that's because milk is not alive, right? It's something liquid. So, agine and jane is I have and you have something that's a liquid. Okay, so let's go through this one again. He a una de kanasul idina gala. Una di agine do ustijane. Una di agine do ustijane. Una di agine do ustijane. Kanasul idina galai. Okay? So, says, John Tish used gesa here. Okay? John Tish used gesa here. Do you know what this is? Okay? John Tish, do you know used gesa here what this is? Okay? Here, Gostanist, Kanasula idina gala. Okay, Gostanist. Okay, you can see here. Gostanist. Okay, Gostanist. Okay, and then we would sing it. Okay, so you would sing it. Gostanist aguaya da ustijaya. Gostanisti aguaya da ustijaya. Gostanisti aguaya da ustijaya. Kanasul idina galai. Okay. So sometimes our words, it's hard to fit into the song. Gostanist, aguya, Gostanist. I think that would fit better, right? Gostanisti aguya. Well, either way works. So you could say, Gostanist aguya da ustijaya. Or you could say, Gostanisti aguya do ustijaya. Okay? Either way is fine. How Gostanist or Gostanisti. It's a baseball bat, right? Jaya. So we have aguya and jaya, which is I have and you have something that's long and rigid, right? Aguya, I have. Jaya, you have. Okay, Gostanist aguya. I have a ball bat. Do ustijaya. What do you have? That's long and rigid, right? All right. So let's see what the next one is. Okay. Ni. Stayed agina. Okay. Stayed agina. Stayed is a rope. Stayed agina. Okay. I have a rope. Kanasula idina gala. Okay, let's clean the room. So this would be stayed agina da ustijana. Stayed agina da ustijana. Stayed agina da ustijana. Kanasul idina galai. Okay. So didi nogi. Stayed agina do ustijana. Stayed agina do ustijana. Stayed agina do ustijana. Kanasul idina galai. All right. And now we're coming to our last one. Ahan squatlest. Here is a ball. Ahan squatlest. Kanasul idina gala. Let's clean the room. So this would be squatlest agiha do ustijaha. Squatlest agiha do ustijaha. Squatlest agiha do ustijaha. Kanasul idina galai. Okay, right? So didi noge. Squatlest agiha do ustijaha. Squatlest agiha do ustijaha. Squatlest agiha do ustijaha. Kanusul idina galai. Okay? So you see how that all works, right? So we have agiha and zaha, meaning I have and you have something that is solid, okay, or neutral, some people call it. It's just anything that doesn't fit into one of the other four categories kind of gets stuck into this category. This is kind of the, what do you call it, the default, right? This is the default. So if you don't know, let's say somebody has something in a sack or something like that, and you don't know whether it's alive or flexible or long and rigid or anything like that. You would do ustita, huh? What do you have? You would use this word, the neutral word, for it until you know kind of what classificatory verb it would be in. So this is kind of your default verb, right? Which actually we should probably have learned it first, but we didn't. We put it at the end, and that's okay. So let's go back through and see. So we have doxy agi ka, do ustita ka, unadi agi ne, do ustita ne, liquid. Okay. Gosta nis da guya, do ustita. A baseball bat, something long and rigid. Okay. Steyi agi na, do ustita na. Okay. Something that's flexible, right? If you'll notice, rope is long, but it's floppy, it's flexible, right? So we would not use aguya, we'd use agina because it's not long and rigid. It's long, but it's flexible. So flexible, the fact that it's flexible takes precedence over the fact that it's long, okay? And then squatlest agihan do ustitaha. Okay, I have a ball or I have something neutral. What do you have? Okay, so let's try these. Okay, so now I'm going to put it on you. So let's do the first one. Wes. Okay, and this is a test for me as well, because like I said, I don't know these that well, so I'm trying to help myself to learn them also. So so we're going to do, I have a cat, what do you have? Okay, so wesa is a cat. I have a cat, what do you have? Okay, and then of course, let's clean our room, right? So I'll give you just a few seconds or, maybe 10 seconds or so to think, if you can think of what verb would we use. So would we use agiha, agina, aguya, agihne, or agika? Which one of those would we use for a cat? So a cat is living, so we know, or hopefully we're learning, that I have a living thing would be agika. So it would be wes agika do ustitaka. So wesa agika do ustitaka. Wesa agika do ustitaka. Wesa agika do ustitaka. Kanusul idina galai. Right? All right, so how about this next one? A ruler. Okay, atli losti. atli lost, atli lost. So would we use agika for atli lost? Probably not, because we know already that agika means for something alive. Would we use agihne, agwaya, agina, or agiha? Which one would we use? Okay, so a ruler, let's classify it. It's long, right? And it's rigid, right? It's not floppy. So I think it would be atlilost agwaya. All right. So then, of course, to sing that one, we'd say atlilosti agwaya de ustijaya. Atlilosti agwaya de ustijaya. Atlilosti agwaya de ustijaya. Kanasul idina galai. Right? So hopefully these, even though we're going over these verbs a lot, you're learning some new nouns as well. So, and these are fairly common nouns that we see around, like a ruler, right? So pants, asulo, asulo, asulo. I have pants. What do you have? Right? So we know we wouldn't use agika because that's for something alive. Pants aren't alive. We wouldn't use aguya because pants aren't long and rigid, right? So it would either be agihne, agina, or agiha, right? Liquid, flexible, or neutral. Let's see which one. Agina, okay? Asul agina de ustijana. Asulo agina de ustijana. Asulo agina de ustijana. Kana suidina galai. Okay? Then we have water, or amma. Okay, so we know it's not going to be agika because it's not alive. We know it's not going to be aguya because it's not, water is not long and rigid. We know it's not going to be agina because it's not flexible. So it has to be either agihne or agiha. Okay, which one do you think it would be? Agihne or agiha? Let's see. All right. Agihne, agihne. Amma agihne do ustijane. Amma agihne do ustijane. Amma agihne do ustijane. Kana suidina galai. Right? Now, toy. Dinaltot, dinel. To me, that should be dineltot. Dineltot, something you play with. Dineltot. Okay, dineltot. So dineltot, would that be agika? Would it be aguya, agina, agine, or agiha? Of course, it would be agiha, because it has a neutral aspect to it, because we don't really know what type of toy it is, right? If it were, like a rag doll that's all floppy, it would be different than, if it were a car, right? So, dineltot, agiha. Let's see if we're right. Okay. So, dineltot agiha de ustijaha. Dineltot agiha de ustijaha. Dineltot agiha de ustijaha. Kana suidina galai. Okay? Good job. So hopefully by now you're getting at least more familiar with it. We're going to do these over and over and over again. We're going to talk about them, because that's the only way that we're going to really get it into our brains, is to really use them a lot and in a lot of different situations. So let's see what we hear. Okay, so let's see which one, and I've given us options here. So this is EJ Gatud, okay? Now, gatud is a fishing pole. Some people also use the word asutot, okay? Asutot. Either way is perfectly fine. Gatud or asutot. Asutot means something used to fish with, right? It comes from the verb asuhusk, right? Asuhusk means to fish or to go fishing. Asuti is a fish hook. Asutot would be something used to fish with, which would be, of course, a fishing pole. Some speakers use asutot. Some people use the word gatud. Either way. Ije, what does ije mean? Can anybody tell me, does anybody remember what the word ije, new, okay? So ije gatud, and then I have a new fishing pole. I have a new fishing pole. Ije gatud, would it be agika, agihne, aguya, agina, agiha? Which of those 5 verbs for I have would it be for I have a new fishing pole? Give you just a few seconds. Agika, agihne, aguya, agina, agiha. All right, let's see. Okay, hopefully you picked aguya, because aguya is the I have if you have something long and rigid, right? Ije gatud aguya. Ije gatud aguya. I have a new pole. Ije gatud aguya. I have a new fishing pole. Okay, and here's another sentence. So how would you say, now this is kind of a bonus point here if you guys can get this. I have 2 fishing poles, okay? I have 2 fishing poles. I'll give you a few seconds to see if you can figure out, and if you don't, and if you can't, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't flip out, because Cherokee is a different way of thinking, right? And it takes some time. So 2, of course, first of all, we need to figure out what order we need to put. So I would probably say 2 fishing poles, I have them, okay? So 2 would be tall, okay? And you could say tall and then fishing poles, or you could say tal yiga, okay? Tal yiga, 2 of them. Tal yiga, di gatud, okay? The plural of gatud, 1 pole, di gatud, more than 1 pole. And so then I would say da guya, because aguya means I just have one thing, right? Da guya means I have more. So tal yiga, di gatud, da guya, okay? Tal yiga, di gatud, da guya. I have 2 fishing poles, okay? So let's look at this one. So up here, the sentence we have is gigage al kayo doti. That should be D instead of do. Al kayo doti. Al kayo doti. That's a word for a towel. It means something to dry with. Al kayo doti. Al kayo means Al-kayost is something that's dry, right? Ul-kayost. Um, so al-kayototi, something used to dry. Okay? Gigage al-kayototi. Would it be agika, agihne, aguya, agina, agiha? Okay? For I have a red towel. I have a red towel. I have a red towel. Would you choose agika? No, that's for something alive. Would you choose agihne? No, because that's something that's liquid. Would we choose aguya? No, that's something long and rigid. Would we choose agina? That's for something flexible. Or would we choose agiha, something neutral? I would choose agina, something that's flexible. Gigage al kayotot agina. Okay, I have a red towel. Gigage al kayototi agina. Okay, how would you change that sentence and say, I don't have a towel? I don't have a towel. I don't have a towel. Okay? Well, of course, to make a negative, we would start with tla, and then we would put a Y sound. Tla yagina al kayototi. Okay? Let's see. Tla yagina al kayototi. Okay? You could also say al kayotot, al kayotot. Either way is fine. Al kayototi, al kayotot. All right? Let's try this one. Okay? Uhjödla adi tossed a cold drink. Uhjödla, cold, adi tossed, drink. So I have a cold drink. Okay? Uhjödla adi tossed. Will we use agika, agihne, aguya, agina, or agiha? Uhjödla adi tossed. Uhjödla adi tossed. Uhjödla adi tossed agihne. I have a cold drink. Uhjödla adi tossed agihne. Okay, a cold drink I have. Uhjödla adi tossed agihne. How would we say I have warm milk? I have warm milk. I have warm milk. Okay, the word for warm, again, the order we would go would probably be warm milk, I have it, right? Warm, uganawa, uganawa. Okay? Milk, unadi. I have a liquid, agihne. Okay, so uganawa, unad, agihne. Uganawa, unad, agihne. Agihne. Oh, let's try this one. Jonani gitl anid, gitli anid. Okay. Jonani gitli anid. So 3 puppies, right? Jon, 3. Nani, of them. Git, dog. Anid, young, right? We learned that gitli ot is 1 puppy. Gitli anid is more than 1, right? Anid. So gitli anid. Okay. Would we use agika, agihne, aguya, agina? agiha. Okay, and of course we would use agika. However, did anybody catch that we would have to change it from agika to dagika because we have more than one thing? If you didn't catch it, don't worry about it. It's hard to remember. And if you say that to a speaker, jonani gitliani dagika, they're going to know what you mean. So communication is happening, right? But it's maybe a little more correct to say jonani gitliani dagika. Okay, I have them, right? I don't have one puppy. I have jonani, right? Jonani gitliani dagika. Ooh, how would you say I have a snake? I have a snake. Of course, you would say snake, I have. So inad or inad agika. Unless it's dead, right? Inad agika. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I messed this one up. So how would you say I have a phone? I have a phone. So ditlanoheti is a phone. Whether it's a landline phone, a cell phone, ditlanoheti is a phone. So I have a phone. Ditlanoheti agika, ditlanoheti agine, ditlanoheti aguya, ditlanoheti agina, ditlanoheti agiha. Yes, it would be agiha because it's neutral, right? It's not alive, so it wouldn't be agika. It's not liquid, so it's not agine. It's not long and rigid, although, I mean, it sort of is, but aguya. It's not floppy or flexible, so it's not agina. So it would have to be agiha. Ditlanoheti agiha. Okay? If you want to say, I have a new phone, ije ditlanoheti agiha. All right? I have a pretty rock. This would be my daughter, because she loves to pick up rocks all the time. So I have a pretty rock. Okay? So you would put pretty rock, I have. So uwodu nei agiha. Uwodu nei agiha. I have a pretty rock. Okay? So I might ask her, dosta, what do you have? And she, uwodu nei agiha. I have a pretty rock, right? All right, so let's go back over the prefixes, the subject prefixes. We have agi, which hopefully you feel pretty confident with at this point. Agika, agihne, aguya, agina, agiha, right? And then we have ja. So we have ja ka, ja ne, ja, ja na, ja ha, right? And then we have u. So uwe ka, ne, uwaya, right? Na, ha, right? Had to think about it. Okay, so we're going to add two more to it. We're going to add gin and ogin, okay, or gini and ogini, okay. Some people say gin, some people say gini, ogin and ogini. So notice that it says that both of them mean we two, the two of us, right? We, the two of us. However, we have two different ways to say it. If the person you're talking to is included in that we, then it's gin or gini, okay? But if you're talking to somebody and you're saying myself and someone else, not you, that would be o gini. So that o excludes the person spoken to. And so you can think about this for example, it's not exact, but sometimes when people pray and they're talking to God, they say, Ogidoda, Ogidoda, our Father, right? Because they're saying our Father down here, not because we're praying directly to Him, right? Ogidoda, Igitoda means all of our fathers. If you're not praying and you're talking to somebody about God or talking about your father, right? All of our fathers, Igitod. So this O sound excludes the person that you're talking to. So Ogin and Gin, okay? So let's see. Let's use it with a verb we already know. So to have a living thing, right? So we have agi ka, za ka, uwe ka. Then those are all the singular subjects, right? Only one subject. I, you, and he, she, right? So now we're starting to get into plural subjects. The two of us, gini ka, okay? That's if you're talking to the person. And ogini ka, we, the two of us over here, but not you, right? Have it, right? So an example, the two of us have a son. Uwej achuj ogini ka. So I'm telling somebody else, me and this other person over here have a son. Uwej achuj ogini ka. Okay? Then you have, do we have any worms? Ujiyas dekini ka. Okay? Ujiyas dekini ka. Okay? Notice that the word, that the sound de is in there because we're talking about more than one worm, right? Otherwise, if it said ujiyas ginika, right? That would mean, do we have a worm, right? Do we have a worm, right? But de ginika, we know we're talking about more than one worm, right? We have several worms, hopefully. Okay? So we've already talked, here we go. So let's go down and let's look at these verbs. So to have something that's alive, right? Let me use my other hand here. So we have agi ka, I have something alive. Ja ka, you have something alive. Uwe ka, he or she has something alive. Gini ka, we, the two of us, have something alive. O gini ka, we, but not you, have something alive. Okay? To have liquid. Agi ne, ja ne, you have something liquid. Ne, he or she has something liquid. Gini ne, the two of us have something liquid. O gini ne, we have something liquid, but not you. Okay? Then we have agwaya, I have something long. Zheya, you have something long. Uwaya, he has something long. Gineya, we have something long. Ogineya, we have something long, but not you, right? See how that works? Something flexible. Agina, I have something flexible. Chana, you have something flexible. Una, he has something flexible. Ginina, the two of us have something flexible. And oginina, we have something flexible, but not you, right? And then neutral. Agiha, I have something other. Chaha, you have something other. Uha, he or she has something other. Giniha, we have, the two of us have something other, neutral. Oginiha, we but not you have something other, right? So you see how that works. So here is an example. I don't have any socks. Do you have any? Claudilio. Yidagino. 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 Dejanos. Dejanos. Okay? Of course, we're talking about more than one sock, so this one's kind of complicated, isn't it? So let's talk about it. Just Tla dilio. Dilio. Socks. Yidagina. Okay? Yidagina. Dejanas. Do you have them? Do you have them? Something flexible, right? Socks. Hopefully, your socks aren't long and rigid, right? But, and that brings us to, we've just got a couple minutes here, and that brings us to a typical kind of Cherokee joke. Sometimes they'll use these verbs to poke fun. You know, for example, like socks. You know, socks normally are flexible, but if you might use the verb to have something long and rigid to indicate that their socks are so dirty that they're hard and stiff, right? Or for example, gravy, right? You might usually you would use for a liquid. You would use the word for a liquid, like agine. But to poke fun at whoever cooked it, you might use, you know, agiha, right? Meaning that it's solidified. It's so it's not liquid anymore, right? So that's a way of making a joke in Cherokee. Cherokees, like a lot of Cherokees that I know, like to use those kind of play on words and like to manipulate the language in different ways to really be clever. And some of them are extremely clever in the way that they do it. So that does bring us to the end of the time that we have. So I just want to say from all of us here at Cherokee Nation and at RSU TV, I just want to say, Waton. Keep working at it, keep trying, and together we'll get it all figured out. So, don't doggo, huh? Bye-bye.